Hey, what's up, guys? So I want to make a quick vlog here and just explain something. For those of you guys, who haven't noticed, I did a Video Game Awards this year, and last year I did a Game of the Year Awards. I wanted to clarify why I decided to do the Video Game Awards and why I'm going to be doing it from now on, just the Video Game Awards and not Game of the Year Awards. Also, I did want to detail about some upcoming videos and stuff like that. Hopefully it's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna try to get some people. I'm gonna explain that later on in the vid. However, let's get down to the core subject here. Why did I decide to do the VGAs instead of the Game of the Year awards? And the answer is quite simple. Games, the majority of games that I would say come out really, as far as now, are the AAA titles. That we've come to expect. I mean, you have the Mass Effect series. The Max Payne series. There's just a lot of sequels, but they all been pretty much set in stone that those are the AAA titles. Even a game like Prototype 2, it was a game of interest to a lot of people because the first one was still a lot of fun. But really, what happens is that the smaller games that maybe don't have enough of a sale budget or just don't get enough attention. End up being just thrown under the rug, alright? And it sucks because those games can actually be good, and those games sometimes are better than what the AAA titles come out with. And when you have a game that, that is up for Game of the Years, that means that in that list, that top 10 list, it has to be basically good at all gameplay, graphics, and story. In all those three categories, it has to excel in some superior way that makes it on that top 10 list. And what ends up happening is with those lists, a lot of people just throw in the AAA budget titles in there because those are the ones that we've come to expect and the ones that pretty much, set the standard for AAA titles is, those games like Mass Effect. Even a game like Resident Evil 6, it's a AAA series. So people just end up just putting those in their Game of the Year awards, like the top 10 Game of the Year awards, and a lot of other games just get left thrown under the rug. So when I decided to do the categories, for my VGAs, the top 10 best story games, best graphics, I split it up because a good game can be good at excelling in a particular category. All right, for example, let's take The Darkness 2. All right. It excelled more in the story department and also graphics, but gameplay-wise, it kind of, it was fun, but it kind of got a little repetitive. Same thing with Syndicate. Syndicate was like a first-person shooter where you had, you could upgrade your character and whatnot, but really, I think it excelled more at its, more in particular of its gameplay rather than really its graphics or story. It just excels in this particular department. And I wanted to rate the games, I wanted to give every game basically a chance, a chance to put it in its, or have it rate against, other games that excel in that particular department, which is why I didn't do Game of the Years, For a game like Binary Domain, for instance, it excelled so greatly in the story. And then you have, and then for people like would say probably gameplay would be probably the weakest part of it, even though really it wasn't a weak part of the game at all. It just was the fact that it was that, Gears of War generic kind of third-person shooting. Not saying that Gears of War is generic, but just saying that it copied off of that same formula. So people, didn't put those types of games in their Game of the Year awards because they didn't excel at everything. And I wanted to do the Video Game Awards because I can take these games that are great games at excelling in their particular category, and I can place them according to other games who really do try to excel in that same category that they're being put into. So that is really why I did the VGAs, and it's just because I can take a great game that is a great game that you probably, didn't play or you probably just, missed because you were looking forward to a AAA title, and I could actually give it some credit for what it does best. What's another, like Spec Ops: The Line, That game deserves some credit for its excellent storytelling. Even though the gameplay is a bit generic, it deserves some credit for its excellent storytelling. I was able to rate it depending in its category that it excelled in. So that is really why I did the Game of the Year award, the Video Game Awards, then the Game of the Year Awards, and that's why I'm going to continue to do the Video Game Awards rather than the Game of the Year Awards. I just come to this conclusion where, you know, it's not fair to give the Game of the Year a sequel to, you know, a big budget title, even though that it may deserve it. Still, you know, there can be other games that can excel beyond that. You know, whether it be in the graphics department, the story, or the gameplay department, it can excel beyond that. So that is the reason why. All right, I just wanted to make that clear, since I know some people may have, you know, said, well, you didn't do Game of the Years. It's kind of odd. That is why. I just wanted to clarify why exactly I made that decision, why I think it's the best decision out of all. You know, because of that, I'm able to take every game and give it credit for something that it's, you know, worth getting credit for. Now, coming up, all right, the Crysis 3 open beta is starting on Tuesday across all platforms, if you didn't know, PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. Now, I played the alpha for the game on PC. The alpha was a PC exclusive, so I played the alpha, and the game ran, you know, fine at high settings. I couldn't run at max settings. The frame rate dropped, and I tried lowering the resolution to 720p on ultra settings, and the thing just wouldn't run. Like, I'm talking about like 15 to 20 frames. So it's a little bit too beefy for me to run high settings, ultra settings, but I can run high settings. I can run high, not ultra, which is perfectly fine. You know, if I had to run medium, then we'd have a problem. Then I'd probably have to upgrade my graphics card, or I'd probably just get it on console. But the Crysis 3 beta is starting. Now, there's going to be, I'm going to do 3 videos, all right? I'm going to do my PC beta impressions, my Xbox 360 beta impressions, and the PS3 beta impressions, all right? They're going to probably be half an hour long. So I'm going to be playing them across all platforms. Now, I don't know. I'm going to try to get some people in the party. Right now, I was on a Skype call with the Random Videos, and we were talking about, you know, whether whether we should play this or not. If I can get him to be basically in the PC impressions or the PS3 impressions, that'd be great. For the Xbox impressions coming up later this weekend, I'm gonna try to see whether Goat Zero and the Archangel Nexus, and I think Sun Twisted also has an Xbox now, so I'm gonna see if all of them can just jump into a game of the Crysis 3 beta next week, and probably today's Saturday, so probably a week from today. So this beta is running until like February 12th. It's running for like 2 weeks, really close to the game's release schedule. And I think it's really the beta version, but the game's kind of out of beta. I mean, you know, it's kind of the game's. I'm sure the game was finished like a couple weeks ago. You know, they usually usually when a game comes out, they stop working on it, or the game's basically finished being worked on like 2 months before it's released, and then they just test the hell out of it. So but this is the beta version they're probably going to be giving us. It's probably not going to count for a lot. They're probably just going to take all the feedback and they're just going to put it in an update when the game launches. So when you boot the game, you'll have an update that fixes all of those problems that they found in the beta or during testing. But however, I do want to get those people in there. I think that'd be great if we can just all get in there for a video and jump into the Crysis 3 beta. You know, I played Crysis 2's multiplayer. I actually did a lot of videos on the Crysis 2 beta when that came out, because that was like my most anticipated game for like 2011. I couldn't wait. But the Crysis 2 multiplayer was disappointing for me in the fact that I really didn't like how everyone just ran around cloaked and just killed you from behind. It was just a mess, in my opinion. However, since I played the alpha, it seems a little bit more balanced now. The maps seem a little bit better. And I'm interested to see how the game's going to look on console. I mean, Crytek basically said that they maxed out consoles, more or less. This is the best looking game that they can... This is basically all they can do on consoles. And whether that's on the Xbox... That's probably for the Xbox 360. On the PS3... You know, I don't know. You know, we're going to see how the game looks, because they said the best looking game on console, and Crysis 2 looked great. It was the best looking game at the time on Xbox 360. But on PS3, I'm sorry, Killzone looked better, Uncharted looked better, and I think it more has to do with the engine. The engine is probably the big thing because the engine's probably doing more. It's the CryEngine. It runs everything in real time. So the engine was probably, if they're talking about the engine in terms of graphics, then they might have maxed out consoles. But they said, we maxed out consoles. We cannot do anything further in terms of graphics and everything with the game. So Crysis 3 is essentially the best it's going to get on this current generation, according to Crytek. However, I do have the game pre-ordered, my 100th edition on the PC. So, you know, I will. I'm definitely gonna be checking the game out. I hope. I have no idea what's going on in the story. The story makes absolutely zero sense. Why the hell are we playing as Prophet when he shot himself in the beginning of the second game? Like, what the hell? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Hopefully, they'll be able to explain it. I mean, the story is just. It baffles me, you know, and it's kind of odd because I actually like the first Crysis' story was really good, you know, and actually I like the first Crysis more so than 2. 3 looks like it's going a little bit back to its roots. I don't know if it's going to be completely open like Crysis, but we'll find out, I guess, as the game progresses. But I just want to make this quick video. I hope that I'm going to try to contact Goat Zero and Nexus and maybe Suntwisted as well if he's up to it. I'm going to try to contact all of them and see if I can get them all in the party for something like a week from today where we can all jump into Crysis 3 beta and just play for a little bit. I think that'd be a fun video, just do each of our impressions and whatnot, and also have some fun in certain games. Now, there's 2 game modes that's going to be coming out, I guess. There's Crash Site, which I played in the alpha. It's from Crysis 2, and then there's the Hunter mode, which is brand new, and that's kind of like an Aliens mode. You kind of like have to stalk your prey and kill them. So we're going to be trying out all that. I'm going to stop talking right now. I'm going to contact those guys and let them see if they're going to be up for that. But I just want to clarify why I did the VGAs instead of the Game of the Years, and also give you guys a little bit of a heads up on what content you can expect to be coming in the next week. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.